Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy. So were you intimate with Tory Lanez? And she said, what? And then it was like, no. And I was like, she's lying. At that point, I knew she's lying.
How I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
50 Cent just dropped a bomb. He pulled up with so-called receipts claiming Jay-Z had something to do with Tory Lanez getting stabbed in prison 14 times. That's right. Tory nearly lost his life, and now folks are saying this wasn't some random jail fight. It might have been a setup, and the plot? Straight out of a movie. According to 50, Jay-Z allegedly ordered the hit to protect Megan Thee Stallion's name and reputation. Wild, right? But here's where it gets even crazier. New info just surfaced suggesting Tory might not have shot Megan after all. Some people are now saying he was locked up off shaky evidence. This whole saga just got flipped on its head. It's like every time things start to settle, something insane pops up. And now Tory ends up in the hospital from a brutal stabbing? It's giving somebody wants him silenced real bad. Reports say Tory was out in the prison yard at California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi on Monday morning when another inmate ran up on him.
The witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Taw and Alex Bott.
They met on Saturday before. They met.
Multiple sources, even one tied to law enforcement, confirmed the details. And trust, this wasn't just a scuffle. Tory needed serious medical attention after what went down. So now we gotta ask, was this just jail politics? Or did someone high up pull the strings to keep the truth buried? This Megan-Tory drama refuses to die, and with names like Jay-Z and 50 Cent involved, it's only gonna get messier. Nobody really knows the real reason behind the attack yet, but one source spilled that Tory was rushed out of there by ambulance straight to a civilian hospital in Bakersfield. Reports say the attack went down inside the housing unit at California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi around 7:20 a.m. Staff jumped in fast with emergency aid, called 911, and got him out to an outside hospital. Fast.
We had to come kill the streets for 5 minutes.
You said what?
We're gonna switch up the music. The PD just came right.
Tory, don't get my.
Then Tory's team dropped a jaw-dropping IG statement. He was stabbed 17 times. 7 in the back, 4 in the torso, 2 to the back of his head, and 1 straight to the face. His lungs even collapsed, and they had to hook him up to a breathing machine. It's a miracle he's even alive. But get this. Tory's reportedly awake, talking, and staying positive. He's breathing on his own now, and thanking God for keeping him here. He also gave a shout-out to everyone sending prayers and support. But not everybody is sending love.
Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying.
Once the news hit, a lot of people were cold about it. Some said Tory getting stabbed was karma for allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion. One person even tweeted, "People feeling sorry for Tory Lanez is so funny. Getting stabbed doesn't compare to shooting Megan. She could have died. I don't feel bad at all for that creature." But 50 Cent? He's not buying the random prison brawl narrative. According to him, this wasn't no coincidence. It was planned. And now, the streets are buzzing with questions. Who really wanted Tory taken out?
I get a call from Roc Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement.
According to 50 Cent, this wasn't just a prison brawl gone wrong, it was a targeted hit. And get this, the guy who allegedly stabbed Tory? He's no rookie. He's a straight-up menace. Reports say the attacker's name is Santino Cascio, a man already serving life in prison for some of the worst crimes out there. Cascio, 42, is locked up for second-degree murder, attempted murder, and using a deadly weapon. He was hit with that life sentence way back in 2004, and he's been in the system ever since. Now they're investigating him for allegedly stabbing Tory inside that California Correctional Institution unit in Tehachapi.
Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy.
His rap sheet? It's deep. We're talking 2 decades of violence and chaos. Let's be real. Someone like him? He's got nothing to lose and everything to gain if someone offers him a little incentive to take out a high-profile inmate. So the theory now? This wasn't random. This was orchestrated. And somehow, Tory survived. Even after being stabbed 17 times, the hit didn't finish the job. He's alive. Barely, but alive. Now here's the part that's got people shook. If the trial is over, Tory's appeal was denied, and he's locked up. Why would anyone still want him silenced? What's the motive now?
So were you intimate with Tory Lanez? And she said, what? And then it was like, no. I was like, she's lying. At that point, I knew she's lying.
Allegedly, Jay-Z is trying to protect Megan because there's new info that just leaked, and it could flip the case upside down. Word is, it might prove Tory didn't do it. And if that's true, it could totally embarrass Megan and blow this whole story wide open again. Let's not forget what really went down the night of that shooting. There were 4 people in that car: Tory, Megan, Megan's bestie Kelsey, and a bodyguard. Now here's where it gets suspicious. During the trial, that bodyguard mysteriously vanished. No testimony, nothing.
How I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Roc Nation, including you, Jay-Z.
Yes.
You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it.
But now, he's finally speaking out. And what he's saying flips everything. According to Tory's legal team and a report from TMZ, the bodyguard, Bradley James, claims he heard Kelsey admit to firing the gun. He says Kelsey shot at Megan 3 times, and that Tory jumped in, grabbed her arm, and that's when the gun accidentally fired 2 more times. That's a whole different story than what was told in court. And guess what? That lines up with what another witness, Sean Kelly, said at trial. He testified he saw 2 women fighting before anything popped off, and now it's starting to make sense. But this ain't just about who pulled the trigger. Now folks are calling the whole trial out as unfair. Gianno Caldwell from the New York Post blasted LA County's former district attorney George Gascon, saying he railroaded Tory and used bogus gun charges just to make him look violent. And political strategist Diane Bloom, she took it even further. She said this case smells like a full-blown setup. She even compared Tory's situation to the Menendez brothers, who confessed to killing their parents, but are now possibly getting released because of new evidence. So now we gotta ask, did the system bury Tory while protecting the wrong person? Or was there a bigger agenda behind the scenes the whole time? Here's where things get real sketchy. Reports say no forensic evidence tied Tory to the gun. In fact, the DNA results showed only a 0.001% chance his DNA was even on the weapon that shot Megan. That's microscopic. And now 50 Cent is calling it for what he thinks it is, a straight-up conspiracy. He believes that Tory getting stabbed wasn't just some random jailhouse beef. Think about it. Just hours before new evidence came out that could clear Tory's name, someone tried to take him out? You really think that's just a coincidence? 50 sure doesn't. But let's keep it real. Nobody's saying Megan flat out lied or planned any of this. She was walking away from the car when she got shot. She never saw who pulled the trigger. And yeah, she'd just argued with Tory, so of course she thought it was him. Especially since her best friend Kelsey was also there. Why would Megan ever suspect her own girl would turn on her like that? Plus, let's not forget, Megan didn't press charges. This whole case came from the state, not her. And right after it happened, she didn't even name Tory. When the cops showed up, she told them she stepped on glass. She was scared and trying to stay out of the spotlight. But then, everything flipped. Tory's team allegedly started spinning stories, and that pushed Megan to her limit. She hopped on Instagram Live and finally let it all out, calling him out by name and sharing her truth. So now, with new info shaking up the timeline and 50-cent sounding alarms, people are starting to wonder, was this all a twisted misunderstanding? Or did someone powerful want this story buried for good? Boom! Everything spiraled after that night. Rumors started flying that Jay-Z allegedly stepped in to control the situation, all to protect Megan, who just so happens to be signed to Roc Nation. Tory even claimed that someone from Roc Nation threatened him directly, warning him to stay quiet and not speak on what really went down. But Tory wasn't about to be silenced. He denied ever shooting Megan and dropped his own side of the story. According to him, things got messy when Kelsey, who he was supposedly dealing with at the time, found out he was also secretly hooking up with Megan. Yep, a full-blown love triangle. Tory says Megan knew about his situation with Kelsey the whole time, but once Kelsey found out, she lost it. And not at him, at Megan. That's when the whole car ride exploded into a screaming match, and before they knew it, things escalated. Fast. Next thing, Megan's shot, and the blame game begins. But Megan's fans weren't having it. They dragged Tory all over social media. Everyone was picking sides, and the internet turned into a battlefield. His story and Megan's version didn't just conflict. They went in opposite directions. And that infamous tweet? Tory posted, "Good D had me messing with two best friends and I got caught. That's what I apologized for. Sick how you spun it, though." That only added fuel to the fire. Once Megan went public and named Tory as the shooter, the whole thing exploded. He got arrested but posted a $350,000 bond and got out. Still, the court slapped him with a strict gag order. No talking about the case, no sneak dissing online, and he had to stay far away from Megan. From threats to love triangles to courtroom silence, this wasn't just a case. It was chaos wrapped in secrets, lies, and celebrity drama. Even before the trial kicked off, Megan was already getting dragged through the mud. The hate came fast and loud. People were calling her a liar, accusing her of trying to destroy Tory's whole career. And this wasn't just a couple trolls in the comments. It was everywhere. The backlash was brutal, non-stop, and it hit her from all sides. Some fans turned their backs. Others started clowning her. Even folks in the music industry threw shade. Big names. Drake even dropped bars in a track that made it sound like she faked the whole thing. That cut deep? Megan later spoke out about how it all affected her. She said, "In some kind of way, I became the villain. I don't know if people don't take it seriously because I seem strong." She broke down how she was trying every single day to keep going, but inside, she felt ignored, doubted, and pushed aside. "I don't want them to see me cry," she admitted, "because I don't want them to feel like, oh, I got you. I'm breaking you." And she made it clear. She wanted Tory to face consequences. "I want him to go to jail," she said. Period. But by the time the trial started in December 2022, things were already off the rails. Even though it wasn't televised, the courtroom drama was straight out of a soap opera. Tory's legal team came at Megan hard, and they weren't playing fair. They dug into her personal life, exposed private moments, and tried to drag her reputation through the dirt. There might not have been cameras in the courtroom, but trust, details were leaking nonstop. And the public? They got a full front row seat to the chaos. Tory's defense wasn't really about proving he was innocent. It was about flipping the script. They tried to paint Megan as the jealous one, like she was mad about whatever was going on between Tory and Kelsey. They twisted the story, trying to make her look like the problem. It wasn't just a trial, it was a public takedown. Tory's legal team wasn't pulling any punches. They straight up tried to slut-shame Megan, throwing out claims that she had been with multiple men in the industry. It was all about painting her as untrustworthy and tearing down her credibility. They were clearly trying to drag her name through the dirt, and it only got messier from there. They also leaned heavy on Kelsey as their star witness, hoping she'd help their case. Kelsey and Megan used to be tight, best friends. But after the shooting, that friendship crumbled. So when Kelsey hit the stand, everybody was holding their breath. And what she said? Wild. She claimed Kylie Jenner had only invited her and Megan to that party, and that it was actually Megan who brought Tory along. That one detail made people start looking at the whole night differently. But no matter what twists got thrown around, in the end, Tory was found guilty. And that's when things exploded. Jay-Z's name got dragged right into the middle of it. Tory's dad stormed out of the courthouse and went on a full-blown rant, accusing Jay-Z and Roc Nation of rigging the whole thing. He claimed Jay used his influence and power to sway the jury, straight up bribing them. Tory's dad wasn't done either. He said Jay-Z had his hands all over the verdict and even went as far as to say Roc Nation bought off a key witness, Sean Kelly. Here's the twist. Sean originally gave testimony that seemed to help Tory. But after allegedly meeting with Roc Nation folks, his vibe totally changed. According to Tory's dad, Sean started acting funny and flipped his whole story. He thinks Sean was either pressured or flat out paid to switch sides. That accusation was bold, messy, and took the drama to a whole new level. It wasn't just a courtroom fight anymore. Now, people were whispering about industry power plays and backdoor deals. Tory's team kept pushing the idea that something way bigger was going on behind the scenes. That this wasn't just about a shooting, but about power moves being made in the dark. They claimed Jay-Z and Roc Nation were pulling strings quietly, controlling the case from the shadows, and that made everything feel even deeper than what the public saw. In the end, Tory got sentenced to 10 years in prison, but his dad didn't back down. He's convinced Jay-Z was behind the whole thing from day one. Why? To protect Megan Thee Stallion, one of Roc Nation's biggest stars and a major moneymaker. According to Tory's father, this wasn't about justice. This was about business. And here's the extra twist. Jay-Z once tried to sign Tory, but Tory turned him down and made it loud and clear he wasn't down to sell his soul. He even said it publicly. So if you've been around the music game long enough, you already know that kind of rejection, it don't just go away. Tory's dad believes Jay-Z held a grudge, and that grudge set the whole chain of events in motion. And 50 Cent? He's not staying quiet either. He's been backing that theory and even hinted that Jay might have taken things way too far, possibly even trying to get Tory taken out permanently. But this ain't new. 50 has called out Jay-Z before. He once said Jay's out here trying to play God in the industry, that he's got a king complex. 50 said, he thinks he's effing Jesus, this Jehovah stuff. I'm watching him. And when Jay dropped subliminals in his lyrics, 50 caught it and let it be known he wasn't feeling it at all. So now people are asking, is Jay-Z really just protecting his brand? Or is there something darker going on behind the curtains? Tory's drama didn't stop with the sentencing. Nah, it kept snowballing. Megan still has a restraining order against him, and her legal team says he's been harassing her from behind bars. Not directly, but through bloggers he's allegedly using to spread dirt on her name. According to court documents, Megan's lawyers claim that Tory's been bullying her from prison by using third-party bloggers as his mouthpieces. They singled out one in particular, Elizabeth Milagro Cooper, also known online as Milagro Grams. Megan's team says this blogger published a bunch of false claims about her and the entire trial. And it's not just talk. Megan's actually suing her. The case, Megan Pete vs. Elizabeth Cooper, is now in the U.S. District Court down in Florida. The paperwork even says Cooper is basically acting as Tory's puppet, pushing whatever narrative he wants out there. They even dropped receipts in the form of tweets, where Tory himself allegedly praised Milagro, calling her the realist, making it look like he's co-signing all her posts. But it gets deeper. Cooper's former friend, a guy named King Noir, stepped in and spilled more tea. He said Cooper was in contact with Tory's dad and was helping leak info straight from Tory's camp to the press. He even confirmed she had it out for Megan and had been talking reckless about her behind the scenes. All of this? It just adds more fuel to the fire. Now there's legal beef outside the criminal case, and folks are wondering if this online smear campaign was all part of a bigger strategy to destroy Megan's reputation while keeping Tory's name buzzing in the streets. So the question is, was this just messy fandom? Or was Tory orchestrating a digital war from behind prison walls? And with the way things are heating up again, there's real talk that this case might head back to court. If that happens, how's this restraining order gonna work when Tory and Megan end up face-to-face in front of a judge again? Drop your wildest takes in the comments, like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. This saga ain't over. See you on the next video.